coming from the cemetery before entering into the yard of the deceased. They will find a bucket full of water with the leaves of this plant chopped and mixed together.
On this episode of Across All Borders Going South, watching the sunset on a salt pan, Nata Bird Sanctuary.
This is the entrance of the Nata Bird Sanctuary. We're going in for the evening game drive, hoping to get a beautiful sunset over the body of water in there. And as you can see, you already have some of the very prominent birds that you will see in here, being the flamingo, the pelican, the Cory bustard, and the lilac-breasted roller. So let's hope for good shots of these birds and all the other wildlife in there. One surprising thing to me was how much wildebeest is in here, and as mentioned before, it is the blue wildebeest. There are two types, the black and the blue. Here in Botswana, you only have the blue one.
You may be asking yourself, what is a salt pan? A salt pan forms by the evaporation of a water pool, such as a lake or a pond, leaving behind flat expanses of ground covered with salt or other minerals, usually shining white under the sun, as you have seen from the footages. They can be found in deserts and a natural formation. Now, the one in question is in the Makadikadi pan. It is situated in the middle of the dry savanna of northeastern Botswana. It is one of the largest salt flats in the world. Now, this pan is all that remains of the formerly enormous Lake Makadikadi, which is said to have once covered an area larger than Switzerland. Let's get back to the Nata Bird Sanctuary. The reserve is run as a community project of several communities who profit directly from the income. It is run by a trust. Now, when you choose to visit Nata Bird Sanctuary, you can either do a morning game drive or an evening game drive. I did both. This is my evening game drive. What can you expect to see if you are driving through the Nata Bird Sanctuary? You will be pleased to experience or encounter pelicans, flamingos, and overall 165 different bird species can be found within the sanctuary. Why is that? Reason being that the Soapan, which borders the Nata Bird Sanctuary, receives a lot of water after the raining season from the Nata River, and it forms breeding grounds for a lot of water birds. But apart from birds, you can expect to see small heads of blue wildebeest, springboks, gamsbok around the grassland. And also in 2016, sexy zebras were introduced to the sanctuary, some of which we came across. So it is a perfect place to have kind of like a bit of an all-rounder experience when it comes to wildlife, with a heavy focus on bird life. You will also see the occasional troops of baboons, velvet monkeys, mongoose, and ground squirrels. So let's get on with this game drive and see what we'll find. If you were visiting and you want to do an overnight, you might want to stay at the Nata Lodge like I did, and the guides have been so knowledgeable and perfect, I can totally recommend them. And if you are coming during the raining season, then it is recommended to have a 4x4. But with no further ado, let's find out how the game drive went.
For grass, okay. What's the funny circular plant all over there? So it is not uncommon to find a wildebeest alone. When you see a wildebeest alone, a male wildebeest, which will usually be, then that was once a dominant male that got kicked off his group of females. So you have two groups of wildebeest you will see. One is a breeding group that has a dominant male and females with the little ones, and the other one is the bachelor group. In the bachelor head are males that have never mated before. It is actually so that with the wildebeest that some males will never mate if they never attain dominance. And what happens is that they regularly fight between each other to find out who's the stronger male, who then further goes to challenge the male with a breeding group and then overtakes that one, and the loser gets kicked out. And he's then a solo wildebeest like our friend here. So right here in front of me, we have the Guinea Fowl aloe. It's a very beautiful plant. It's belonging to the cactus family. And I was wondering if it's always this color, and the answer is yes. It's always this color. It has some flowering on the top. This plant is important because it's used for different things. So first of all, breastfeeding mothers actually use it for weaning because of the bitterness. And it's used also for skincare in traditional medicine. And the third use of it is as a disinfectant. So in case of a funeral, you will find out that after visiting the cemetery, when families come back to the house of the deceased, they will find a bucket of water where these leaves have been chopped up and put inside, and they wash their hands using that mixture. So it has three distinct uses in Botswana, but what you can also see is how it beautifies this landscape.
Here we have the double-banded kossa. This bird can be found in southern parts of Africa, Ethiopia, Somalia, and Tanzania. The interesting thing about the double-banded kossa is that it builds its nests on the ground, and the females are so aggressive that they can defend the nests from even elephants.
Also known as the Bushman cucumber.
The Bushman cucumber.
What the San people will do when they go out for long distances, they would grab this plant and they would eat what is inside. As it works as a suppressor. So they can go for long distances without feeling hungry, without getting thirsty.
Oh, wow.
This plant can...
Are those baobabs in the back? Yeah. Okay, I see them.
Okay, and there's another one there.
Yeah, that's... that's the ugly one.
Oh, it's the marabou.
We came across a group of flamingos, and in case you're wondering, there are two types of flamingos, the greater and lesser flamingo. The difference between two of them is the lesser flamingo is smaller, has shorter legs, has a darker pink than the greater flamingo. The greater flamingo has a light pink body. The beak is also light pink with a dark tip. It has longer legs, and the difference in color comes from their nutrition. One interesting thing about the flamingos is once they've noticed you, they will start to retreat, and this happened to us. So if you want to capture them, make sure you have a very powerful lens with you that covers a great distance, or you're quick enough that they don't notice you and move away.
That's the Suwasura Edge mine.
What is it?
Soda ash mine.
The mine, mine. Okay.
Yeah. So they use the evaporation system to gather coarse salt.
Ooh.
They also produce fine salt, silica, potash, and chlorine. Even detergents of making livestock vaccines. And per year, potash produces about 350,000 tons of soda ash, 650,000 tons of salt.
Wow.
Even up to today, locals are staying within Nata village in September, October. They do move along the Nata river and they would dig up to knee levels, and then from there they would start reaching blocks of salt underground.
Wow.
Mainly used for commercial use.
Okay.
Now, after watching the sunset and the beautiful performance from the different birds, we started to make our way out of the park and back to the lodge. I decided to end my safari day with a traditional Botswanan meal. I'm going to introduce you to that. So what we have here is a typical winter meal from Botswana. It is the oxtail with mabele. Mabele. And mabele is sorghum.
Yeah.
So you can either have it with mabele or you can have it with the papa. And papa is made from corn, maize meal. And then you've got
rice.
Morogo, which is a spinach, which comes with it. It's actually very, very rich. So if you are in Botswana, make sure you get yourself this. I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Yours truly, Liesl 81.